Let's talk about another story from the Daily Mail. In this story, I was surprised to see it. Mexico uses footage of homeless people and drug addicts from Philadelphia in advertisements to scare young people away from substance abuse.
Awesome.
These images are saddening.
Now, did they bring the Philadelphians to Mexico to shoot this, or did they go on location to Philadelphia?
I think they probably just pulled the videos from social media.
From Kensington, probably.
Yeah, they just. I mean, this is insane.
It's insane. It's just completely.
I think
insane.
that's it right there.
Yeah, you can just watch that right there.
Oh wow, there it is.
Hey, that's nice production value.
Yeah, I was just that girl's lovely. I mean, she's cute. Oh no, she's on drugs in Philadelphia.
Hey, looks like LA.
LA street people, great account to follow.
No destruyas tu vida. El fentanilo mata. No te arriesgues. No vale la pena.
Si necesitas ayuda, llama a la línea
go
de la
skateboarding. Look at that.
800-911-2000.
Wait, what is this? Is that
This is what you should be doing, is what they're saying.
You should be skateboarding.
Not
You
doing
should be
drugs in
skateboarding.
Philadelphia. And they're not wrong. And Mexico is winning with that one.
Man, that's so
Well,
sad.
they don't have any drugs left in Mexico. They're all
They're
here
all
in the
here.
United States.
But what's the point of selling them in Mexico and you can't charge 50 times for them? Then you can
100%.
filter the fentanyl from China through our open border and kill everybody here. I mean, that's what people don't understand, is that China has a 100-year-long memory. I mean, a 250-year-long memory and a 100-year-long plan. And they're still pissed about the Opium Wars. And we don't understand that. And everyone's like, why does China keep sending their fentanyl here and we don't do anything about it?
They
And
should
you're
be
like,
sending it to the UK. I mean, we didn't have anything to do with that.
I think they
Sure.
can't get into the UK because it's a
Correct.
small island. They don't have
But-
a land border to move it
But
in
the thing
across.
about what's going on right now in the United States is that we had the economy completely destroyed. I often was asking, where did everybody go? How come we were in Newmarket, Virginia last weekend, and the restaurant had a big old whiteboard that said, we are understaffed, please be patient. Nobody wants to work anymore. And then Ian, you actually hit the nail on the head with the hammer, I think. When I started making the joke that people were raptured, you just said, I think they're homeless. And then I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because while we're seeing employment collapse for lesser skilled and lower skilled jobs, we're seeing homelessness and drug abuse skyrocket. There's probably a correlation right
and it's
there.
been happening quietly.
Yeah.
It's only quiet because they're ignoring it. It's being completely ignored. It's you know, I mean, how often do you see any of this information on?
But that's what they want.
You know, in Mexico, some of the cartels have very strict rules where you can't give fentanyl to the local population. Yeah. You get punished. There's retribution in the streets if you give out the drugs that are supposed to go up north, if you give it out to the local population, because they know the devastation that it would cause the local population and how horrible it would be. This is also, as of course, there's also a very mirrored history between a lot of the cartels and American intelligence agencies that have been working together historically that have been shipping in things like crack cocaine, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Well,
right
it wasn't
now.
in crack form when they shipped it in. I mean, they didn't cook it there first.
Yeah. Well, the CIA taught people how to do the crack cocaine, but they brought it in cocaine. Barry Seal. Yep,
that's the beginning of the Clintons. That's how the Clintons elbowed their way into a CIA family. Because what people don't realize is that the Obamas and the Bushes have much more in common than the Clintons and the Bushes or the Clintons and anyone else. Is that those are old school CIA families. Like if you want to make Mason reference, they're 33rd, whereas like the Clintons are like 9. Like the Clintons are like down here elbowing their way up into the higher level CIA, like thinking they're going to have a legacy. They're not. Well, and then that's
there's a
what
big history in Mena, Arkansas.
That's what I'm saying. Mena, Arkansas is what happens when is what Clinton agreed to run in order to become president. I mean, basically, there's a lot of people that think that.
This is a meme. It says, breaking, Elon Musk has reportedly made an offer to buy the FBI from the Clintons.
Oh, awesome.
That's
Go,
a good,
do it.
That's a good
that
meme.
Was a good one.
I think it's like my most liked
sometimes.
post too, because it has 48,989 likes. Just post more memes. Whenever you post a meme, it's like I get tens of thousands of likes, and I'll post something like about my life, and like everyone's like, Tim, we don't care about you.
But
No one cares.
We're only there for the memes, man.
I know, these are great. This is a good one though. This was a good one. So yeah, I don't know, man. When you look at what's happening with our elections, it's I think a lot of people are really angry. Milo pointed out they wanted revenge. They were hoping that this would be an absolute national rebuke of the Democrat failures. Instead, we
ran the same play.
We got a win. That's it in the House, and it's not even confirmed just yet. And I'm kind of just like, I don't know. I was thinking about what Michael Malice was saying with John Fetterman getting elected and how he wanted him in, and I thought it was kind of funny. So, the more I think about it, this is a product of absolute collectivism. And I'm very much more on the side of individualism. So my worst case scenario is we go anarcho-libertarian or whatever. It's not my ideal circumstance. I know the anarchists and libertarians are probably loving it. If the system breaks down and collapses, they're going to be living large. But I can live with that. I can deal with that if that's what happens.
It's really weird. You and my dad have like that are like those guys. You're like,
I'm that guy. I'm like, this is music to my ears. I love the sound of that.
Like,
hell yeah, let's do it. Let's bring Sharon to the United States.
I've learned to accept it and to learn like to embrace the Zen anarchism, like, and to even try and understand what it is. Like I have only now begun to have like thrive in the chaos kind of vibe. But like it still is, I have to say, like at the end of the movie I made, it's sad. I mean, it's sad. I inherited this country. It's the only thing I would die for, if not my family. So I'm not really, I don't feel bad being genuine about this. Like a lot of these people these days, like after this election, like there's a lot of, I won't mention who, but there's a lot of like irony going around where it's like, don't you know elections are fake anyways? Like anybody who took this seriously is dumb. And you're like, no, actually I really care about my country and I don't mind saying so. Like, it's really important.
I think what's also happening here in America with a lot of these drug overdoses is something that has been adding to the larger political shift in this country. Because when you look at the opioid epidemic, it predominantly went after middle America. It went after people that weren't in the cities, people who trusted their doctors, got in a car accident, and their doctor said, hey, take legalized heroin, 100%. That we're going to cut you off immediately. And now, hey, now you got to go through Mexico. Now you got to go through the cartels. Now you got to go through your local drug dealers.
Veterans?
To get hooked.
Look
and you
at what
criminalize it, and when you criminalize it, you create a situation where of course there is more harm and more people are dying from bad drugs more than ever. More gang members are becoming more enriched more than ever, and it's a situation deliberately created, in my opinion, meant to devastate middle America, and this has been seen as a result of eliminating a lot of would-be Republicans. Let's be honest.
But like, yes, and why is that? Why would they want to do that? Because
you will own
what
nothing
kind
and
of
you
country,
will be happy.
Right.
Because
in what
they want
kind
people
of
dependent on
country
government.
can you have
They don't want people that are ungovernable.
authoritarianism? That's why we see authoritarianism in extremely poor countries, because when you're worried about what to eat and what you're going to feed your family, you don't have time to have high-minded philosophical conversations about what political system you're going to have. And that's the problem with the right, too. I was just having a meeting with somebody earlier today, and you're like we're talking, me and this girl are basically on the complete same side. We're talking about it like we're on totally opposite, complete political sides. We're on the right. And it's like, we like take our most minute differences and we make huge issues out of them. And it's like, well, I can't go along with this because of X, Y, and Z. And it's like that. The left doesn't do that. The left is just like, they're coming after abortions. Go vote. And you're like, oh, like, why can't, like, it's like...
But they don't vote for anything. Democrats vote because someone knocked on the door and said vote, and they went, oh, I guess.
Corin, are you in California?
No, I live in Florida.
Have you seen...
Oh, hey.
Good man.
There you go, Florida man. I live in Florida too. I love it there. It's awesome and incredible. But even in Florida, you do see this larger impact of this kind of destruction of our society. Have you seen it in your experiences?
I mean, especially with my son, and my son's 17 and lives out in the suburbs of Houston. And that's, I can tell you, they've had a number of incidents. They've had a number of kids at his school who've all died from fentanyl overdoses, and not because they knew it was fentanyl, because they thought they were taking an ecstasy pill.
That's right.
Or they thought they were taking something else because they're pill pressing these things. Whether they're pill pressing the fentanyl into these forms and saying that it's something else, and not intentionally putting an overdose amount in there, or intentionally putting an overdose amount in there, I can't say for sure. But the fact that it's in there at all is frightening.
Remember when the U.S. government put, I think it was methanol? Was that what it is?
In the alcohol during Prohibition?
Yeah, during Prohibition to kill. Yeah. That was a short-lived stunt.
People started dying.
It was a short-lived stunt.
Yeah.
They killed people. The government deliberately killed people
I'm
because
they were
violating
happened the last
Prohibition.
time I was here.
Methanol?
Methanol in the
I'm
alcohol?
going to tell people that you methanoled me last time I was
You'd be
here.
blind, I'm pretty sure, or dead. No, but
I think that's what
so.
people-
So hold on. We'll clarify. What the government was hoping was that by putting methanol in alcohol, nobody would drink it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then people drank it and they died. And they're like, okay, we're going to stop doing that.
No.
Like,
They wanted a story where people would die from it. They would run with those headlines saying,
Right.
see, bootlegging's dangerous. You better not drink the bootleg alcohol. As of
Yeah,
course,
they
the government
spiked the
policies.
bootleg alcohol.
Yeah, literally created, mafias. Mafias wouldn't exist if it wasn't for government prohibition. Now
So
we're
you're saying
going through the same
mafias wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the
Well,
mafia?
no, they
If it wasn't exactly, there you go.
Ancient Rome.
Yeah.
Like,
I was waiting to argue, and I was like, "That's actually a good point there.
They
That's a great
existed
point."
since ancient Rome. We've
In some form or another.
But
yeah,
they became
absolutely.
as prominent and as powerful only because of prohibition.
100% for
Yeah.
sure. That's what happens when
No,
you
no.
make stuff illegal.
The point is, the government is a mafia. Period. And there's
Yeah,
just-
there you go.
Right.
And,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and the
I
mafia
agree.
is
Creates
just-
more mafias.
Right. They're organized structures. Like, people have this I guess fictionalized view of what a mafia is, where they're like purely antagonistic to the community, and they're not. The same thing is true for gangs.
100%.
People
That's
think
actually true.
Gangs are antagonistic. In fact, when Brazil and Chicago's a really great example. The gangs in Chicago were not overtly antagonistic. We go to the park and we'd be like, oh, look, there's a bunch of people from a gang. And they were just a gang. And they would do stuff. And in fact, they would police their neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So when people felt like they weren't being protected and they didn't have the same access as other people in terms of public resources or industry, they created their own. That's what people do. They form organizations. Now, some of these people...
That's what
happens
ghettoized
with-
communities do.
but all communities do it. The difference is the United States, we've mass scaled it up to the point where it's surrounding the nation and with military bases all over the world. When I look at Brazil was a really great example of this with the favelas. When the government wasn't active in the shanty towns, the favelas, gangs came up and became the de facto leadership. When the government realized, hey, there's tax money, we need to get this stuff, we need to modernize and take control of it, they had to quote unquote pacify, meaning they would go in and rip apart the gangs and then reassert their dominance over this area. But the gangs were basically just local government.
Yeah.
That's what you
And
get.
when you say rip apart,
Yeah.
you mean they would kill people?
Oh, yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
That's why when you see the
That's right.
FBI
Pacification.
raiding the homes and raiding the political opposition, you have to realize that the FBI is just the gang of the party of the regime, right?
Now
Like,
they're after
that's-
the aliens.
Yeah, they're after the UFO guy,
Yeah.
which they raided today, which is absolutely insane.
Is
What is
that
the
like
story?
a real
Yeah.
thing? Like, did
Yeah.
that actually happen?
I want to talk about this.
About what?
The
about
UFO.
Kodak
The UFO
and the-
guy?
FBI raiding an
It's not the guy who wrote "Behold a pale horse" or something, is it?
No, they took that guy. They took that guy out.
Yeah, that's
they,
right.
They
That's-
killed
yeah.
him
Oh, yeah,
in
that's
2001,
right. That's right.
after
That's
9/11.
absolutely right. I
when
remember
he
that.
predicted 9/11.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Who was that?
I read the article where
William
he did
Cooper,
that.
former
William
U.S. Naval
Cooper. I
intelligence.
read his
That's
article.
right.
I read his article that when it came out in 1999. Actually, I forget the magazine that it was in. One of these alternative
I
magazines.
thought he
but it was-
died
it was
of a
wild.
heart attack.
He died in a shootout with police officers.
Yeah, well, in one
After
a One
9/11.
Direction shootout.
Yeah.
Sort of like Waco.
Yes.
Milton William Cooper.
Yeah, former
Yeah.
U.S. Naval
Jeez.
intelligence, a crazy book that he wrote.
Behold a Pale Horse.
Yeah.
Yep.
He died November 5, 2001. So that's just about 2 months after 9/11.
Yeah.
Was he keep talking about it? Was he like, it's a conspiracy? The
Wow,
Americans
I
are
did
doing it?"
not know
Oh
that.
yeah, he was on. He was
predicted
on.
it. He predicted it.
Yeah.
So did
But to what degree? Like, what did he predict?
I gotta watch the video just to make the exact reference here because I don't want to be very careful with how I say it. But do you remember the exact references?
Yes. Well, he did on his radio show. He talked about it, but it wasn't so much in the sense that if I recall correctly,
Well,
he
even
did
Alex
say,
Jones was making
I was about to
predictions.
say,
Yeah.
so did Alex Jones.
But before Alex Jones, it was William Cooper, I believe.
Yes, yeah, and there was also we were talking about Jordan Maxwell earlier. There was another guy who was really onto all of this stuff and everything. But that was pretty shocking. But it was in such a way that he didn't say specifically what happened. But I would have to go back and look at it again.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.